is your name?
I am Ivory Akeisha. I am a public speaker. I'm an author. I am a wellness mentor and accountability coach.
Absolutely. And listen, where are we today? It's an amazing space.
Thank you. We're in my studio. We're in my wellness studio. It's a brand new, I just opened it up to the public back in March. So this is where I hold like meditation circles, and I have my apothecary wall, which is a retail wall where I sell my oils, my incense, some herbal tea blends, some books.
Listen, y'all gotta make sure you're following me on Instagram at the Career Cheerleader for all the behind the scenes, and make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube because we're gonna do a little behind the scenes of the studio. I'm gonna get her to give me a tour, but let's jump into this interview. Y'all already know I'm partnering with Mike King Biz, the #1 in business radio right here on ESPN 106.1. So let's get into this business interview and talk with our sis today. Listen, tell us a little bit more about what you plan on using this space for, because it's a gorgeous space. Again, catch that behind the scenes, but tell us what you do here.
So we do meditation circles, journaling sessions. So for the opening back in March, I had Alicia, she's a Reiki practitioner. She came in and we did inner child healing and a sound bowl healing session.
Yeah.
And so it was about 10 women in here, and we all sat around in a circle, had the lights down, had the lights back here going. So it was just a nice little setup, a nice vibe, smelling good. And she had her sound bowls, and she was just leading a whole session for us.
Listen, tell us why sound bowls or just sound healing, sound therapy. Why is that important?
It is so important because we don't realize that vibration, the sound of the vibration or the vibration of the sound, however you want to. The sound, it holds a vibration and it actually feeds our body. Those vibrations can heal just the elements of our bodies, the cells in our bodies. And so when we sit quiet and we hear that sound, it just brings healing to us. And it's also calming.
It is calming. I feel like, how is that different from meditation? I heard you talk about Reiki earlier. Maybe the three, the sound vibrations, the Reiki, and the meditation. How do they all differ?
So sound is just a sound bowl. So once you hear it, it just kind of gets you quiet. It brings you back when you're in meditation. So those two really go hand in hand. When we're in meditation, you usually hear some kind of noise, some kind of music, something in your ears anyway. And the Reiki by itself, that's just kind of like that's a whole nother healing process in itself. That's an energy healing that a Reiki practitioner, she does. She performs. She's kind of, I like to say it's like laying of hands on somebody.
Yeah.
But they don't actually lay their hands on you. They just kind of bring that energy or heal that energy around your body.
Super intentional, I feel like the Reiki. And then there are levels, right? 1, 2, and 3. Are you a Reiki practitioner?
I am not a Reiki.
You want to be?
That is not my journey. That's not my lane. That is not my lane.
I love that, knowing that maybe it's your lane to provide the space for that different types of healing to happen. So shout out to you for providing this safe space for us. Listen, tell us a little bit about how you got here, because I know you didn't start, like maybe you've always been into wellness to a certain degree, but how did you get to this space?
Right. So I've been in wellness for, I like to say, right when the pandemic hit. Right?
Okay.
COVID. COVID either made you or break you.
That part.
So right around COVID, I really started getting into the lifestyle of wellness. But in this space specifically, I've had this space because I used to do photography. So I was sharing this office with a good friend of mine, and she went in, got her CDL license. And so we just kind of transitioned from photography, and she did her own thing. And so I was like deep into wellness. I wrote my book, and you're familiar with the book. It's all about wellness. And so I was like, what do I need to do with this space? I have this office. I don't want to give it up because I like just coming here and being away from the house.
Right.
And so I decided to turn it into a wellness studio. And it just kind of evolved into a space where women can come and we just do meditation circles.
I love it. I love it. Are you still doing photography?
I do on the side. I don't advertise it, but if you catch me, I
feel like that's important to say. I feel like a lot of women, I talk about this with my clients too, like sometimes it's just women, we can do it all, right? And we do it all very well. And because you can do everything well, how do you know what thing is the thing to transition into a business? How did you know that wellness was going to be the next step from after photography?
That's a good question. It just felt right. Photography always felt right, but it was never my purpose. I realized that my purpose was making people feel good. I enjoyed photography. It was a passion. It was a passion. It was just kind of a hobby, a passion. But I realized my purpose was making the people feel good on the other side of that camera. When they smile, when they laugh, when they looked at their pictures, it made them feel just something.
Right.
And so that was like, I was like, that feels good.
I like that.
That's my purpose. I need to make people feel good. So wellness has just become a part of my life. It made me feel good once I learned about myself. Once I learned about, my power, my divinity, my feminine energy. Once I learned about all of that, I was like, I have to share this with people.
Share it with the people.
Give it to people.
Yes, listen. And we know that it's not just this space. If maybe you have your own space at home and you want to tap into your wellness, you have a book. Tell us about your universal law.
I'm a
plug. Come on, book. I got this book. It helped me on my journey at the top of 2023, coming into 2023, leaving 2022. It really helped me just tap into parts of my life I wasn't quite conscious about or just wasn't paying attention to. So tell us about the book and how it came to be and how it can help other people.
So again, I started this right around 2020, 2021, COVID era. I was going through a separation. I was going through postpartum depression. I was going through it all right during COVID. So, I was back at the house with my parents, with 2 kids. And so, I always say, once you become aware, it's something that triggers you and something pushes you into start asking questions. And so that pushed me. I was like, my life is not the way I want it to be.
Right.
I need to figure out what's going on. And so I just started asking questions. And when I realized when you ask questions, you're going to receive answers. And when I was asking the questions, when I started asking questions, and I came across something called the universal laws. And universal laws are just basically universal laws. They're not man-made laws. They're not government laws.
Kind of like the Murphy's Law here, right? Like something bad's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Right.
A law of attraction. That's the most familiar one that most people are aware of. Law of attraction. When you put something out, something's gonna come. That same thing or that same energy is gonna come back to you, right? So I came across this information, and then I took a course with a friend of mine, and she was teaching us how to create a course. And so this initially was going to be a course that I was gonna teach other people about, teaching them about the universal laws, how to use them, apply them to your life so that you can make the life that you desire, right?
Yes.
And so it just transitioned into a book, though.
I love
the course never happened.
The book is a course, though, because I mean it's kind of like a course on who you are, right? Tell us about the different parts of it and how it really can help others.
Yeah, so it's broken down into 7 parts. Because I talk about the 7 universal laws. There's more, but I talk about the same 7 main ones, right? And so it's broken up into 7 parts. There's journaling, there's shadow work in there. If you don't know what shadow work is, it's basically something that you sit with yourself and you learn about the dark and the light side of you, right? I had some deep questions. And like you said, it's kind of, somebody mentioned it's like therapy in a book. Because you just sit with yourself, and not only do I give you information, but I give you prompts so that you can learn more about yourself and the tools to just, use those laws to create the life that you desire.
I love that. Y'all get the book. Listen, tell everybody, do you have a website?
I do.
What's the website?
So it's ivoryakeisha.com, IVORY, like the soap or the color, Akeisha, AKEISHA.com.
It was the soap or the color for me. I love
like the soap or the color.
Right. Listen, y'all know how to spell it. Listen, tap in with Ivory. But even more so, let's talk a little bit more about your life pivot. Okay. We talked about, or you shared, you were back home, you knew you wanted to do something with this space, you were going through a divorce. What is maybe the biggest challenge you faced so far on this journey, and how have you overcome that or navigated if someone out there was listening and they don't know how to get through this valley in their life? How did you get through yours?
I just stayed focused. I just kept those blinders on. I know one of the things for me was learning myself. I can get distracted. I can lose focus. And putting on those blinders, learning myself, number one, was the main thing. Learning what the things that keeps me motivated. Because a lot of times people say, you know, I wake up for my kids, I go to work, I do this for my kids. I have children, but what if something happens to my children? You know what I'm saying?
And they won't be children forever. They leave that part out of the conversation. Like, yeah, they're kids for a little while. But the way 20 years goes by real fast.
In a blink, right?
Real fast.
And so I had to make sure that I still had something for myself. I need to make sure that I'm doing something for myself. So that transition was just knowing myself and knowing that I needed to stay focused.
Okay. And then when you decided to develop the book, if someone out there wants to write a book, how long did the process actually take you?
So if I would have stayed focused, right? If I would have stayed focused the whole time, it probably would have taken me like maybe 3 or 4 months. But it took me about 6 months or so. And it's actually a self-published book.
Okay.
So I self-published it myself. I had a friend, she's a publisher. She hooked me up with the links and told me where I needed to go. But you can research all of that information. If not, if you want to reach out to me, Ivory Akeisha. .com, and I'd be more than happy, because again, I'm all about just sharing knowledge.
Right. A resource. Listen, not everyone wants to give out that information, but let's talk about that really quickly. So when you're on your journey, how do you feel when people come to you and say, hey, can you tell me how you did that? Or how did you get to that point? Some people are, I guess they call gatekeepers, right? They don't want to really share it. In our community, we feel like people are going to steal our information. How do you approach when someone has questions for you about your business?
So I am very transparent and I love to give as much information as possible. However, you know, I still got to make money, right?
That part.
But at the same token, I love bartering. I love exchanging of energy. So if you bring something to me that is beneficial, then I will be more than happy to provide you. If I know that this is going to help your life, and I see that you're going to use this information and you're going to use this and it's going to, you know, get you to from A to B or A to Z, then I'll be more than happy to provide that information. But don't suck it all in. You know, you got to still
can't take it all.
Can't take it all. And I don't always ask for monetary, you know, money. You know, sometimes, you know, like I said, I love bartering.
Yeah.
You know?
What service do you have? Are you do you have meditation class that you want to come here, or a journaling class? I have a journaling class. I'm thinking maybe I should bring it up here. Who wants to journal with me? I mean, what else can we do in business?
And I think that's wonderful in business, but also in personal life. You know, just being able to give. We're all about giving and receiving.
Right.
You know, that's the world we live in. So it's like, and it sometimes it feels taboo to say, you know, you don't want to give something just to receive something, but you know, that's an energy exchange.
Right. It's a back and forth. And we should be forever learners, lifetime learners. I feel like a lot of you don't want to continue learning. It's a lot of people out there with this the boss mentality. I feel like it's kind of toxic, actually. Some of you think you've reached the level or you got on your pedestal and there's nothing left to learn. And that's just not the case. So let's not do that anymore. Let's keep learning and see how we can barter with others. And don't get me wrong, it might not be your season to barter. Okay. I feel like that's a big part of it too. Let's talk about our season, right? So I heard you earlier say it probably could have taken you about 3 months to write the book, but it took you 6. I like to believe that doesn't mean that you were unfocused. You may just have been able to tap in and see your true capacity, right? So what do you do along the way on this journey to just tap in and make sure you're still fulfilled and ready to enter your wellness space every day? I think we all in business, you wake up some days and you're like, this ain't the day. Or, you know, I said I was going to do 10 things this week and I did 3. Like what keeps you encouraged as you move through the journey?
So I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, that why. Knowing your why, like, who are you doing this for? I'm not doing this for anyone but myself. Just waking up, and I've never gone to a job that I've woken up and be like, I'm ready to go to work. But I can honestly say I wake up in the morning and I'm ready to come to this space because I've created it. It's mine. It feels good when I walk in here. And just knowing that every time I step in here, it creates another thought that will help somebody. And so that's what just gets me up in the morning.
I like that. I like that. Because when you are in your favorite spaces, and again, y'all, catch the behind the scenes for this on our YouTube channel, because it's just a beautiful space. We're not even going to show y'all because, of course, you can't see it on the radio show. So you got to catch the behind the scenes. But I want you guys to understand, like, knowing your space, finding your tribe, having your place to go is so important.
Yes.
It's key. It's like a key factor. It's like a cheat code in life. And that's why some of y'all are just around the wrong people. We want to mix that. We want to get around the right tribe. Speaking about that on your journey, like, how has your circle changed? One thing you talk about in your book is like how things may fall off. Like, it doesn't have to continue the same way it started. How has your journey of friends or even business partners changed on your journey?
So
uh-oh,
yeah.
The laugh. See how that goes?
See how that goes. So, you know, when you start your journey of healing, your first instinct is to bring people with you.
All of them. I wanted to bring all of them.
Bring them all, but everybody can't go where you go, right? So I had to learn very quickly that I can't heal anybody. I can only show people what I'm doing. And a lot of times when you're showing people what you're doing, that's either going to encourage them or it's going to make them go the opposite direction. You know, so my tribe, I've learned that I had to stop looking for a tribe and I had to attract a tribe. That was one thing that I had to learn because I was starting to drop friends. I was starting to lose acquaintances and, you know, people in business. And I was looking for people, you know, I was looking for people to fill that void. And I realized that the people that I was looking for, I didn't know how to find them because I'm not supposed to be looking for them. I need to be that person that I'm looking for. And attract them, you know, so.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
And that's how I met Cara.
That is how we met.
Seriously.
Yeah, we met at an event. I was speaking and sis said, I want to be a speaker too. And I said, you are already.
And she planted that seed in me.
Yes. And then I went to her first speaking event.
Yeah.
You know, it's really truly the networks that you choose to build as well. I feel like if you weren't as open to just meet new people, we probably wouldn't have met because you probably wouldn't have wanted to speak. And then that just would have been that.
And that just,
Right. So I'm glad we're here.
Yeah. The evolution.
Yes, the evolution for me. Anything you want to share with the people about just your businesses? And I say businesses because we're speaking mass things until existence.
Yes. I just want to encourage people to just keep going. That's
y'all.
it. I just encourage you to just keep going. Whatever it is that you want to do, we hear that all the time. Just keep going, right? But honestly, we have been placed on this earth to just be here and do.
Listen.
And you can do literally whatever you want to do.
Oh, I love that. Listen, you are still tuned in to the #1 radio business hour, I feel like, on ESPN 106.1. Listen, in that same conversation of moving forward, pushing forward, pressing forward in business, personally and professionally, as I like to say, what is one of your greatest dreams? Where do you see your business evolving to over the next 5 months, 5 years? Where are you headed?
Globally.
Come on, global.
We're going to be globally. We're going to be doing meditation circles and retreats and gathering women together. So initially I started this for Black women, right? But I would love to, I envision something where there's men and women. I love my community and I would love to help. I don't have that aspect of being able to talk to the men like I can with the women because I don't have that same, you know, I can't relate to men like I can women, but I would love to partner with a man, someone who can fill that part, right? And we just create like a beautiful just retreats where men and women can come and we just heal. We can heal that Black love between, you know, women and men and just be
a whole collective.
Just a whole collective.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
I want to collaborate too with some men. I feel like, you know, in business, we're constantly talking about Black owned or woman owned. Rarely do you hear male owned, I guess, because they're the primary in just life, right? But how do you feel about the initiative of, you know, support your Black owned business, support your woman owned business? As I evolve in business, of course, I'm Black and I'm a woman, but I also have like a more global, international reach where I really want to inspire all nations, all people. But how do you feel about that movement?
I it's funny you ask that because my dad is in business. He's an entrepreneur since day one. So that's where I get that spirit from. And we often bump heads because I'm like, I just want to talk to my Black women. That's it. That's all I know. And he's like, well, the dollar reaches further than Black women.
That's my dad all day long.
The dollar reaches further. But I'm like, but this is the space that I know. This is the space that I understand. I can relate because I've been through these experiences. And so just being a Black woman, and I don't like the term, let's support our Black owned businesses or our Black women owned businesses, because I feel like supporting them is just like a handout.
Sharing a
little post or something. I want you guys to, when you reach out to me, I don't want you to just support me. I want you to reach out to me to support yourself.
Ooh,
invest. That's what it is when you reach out to these Black businesses. Don't just do it just to support them. Invest in their business, invest in yourself, because they're putting their energy into whatever it is that they're offering. And they want you to take it seriously, right?
I love that.
So yeah,
that's a big takeaway. I have a whole class on how to win at pop-up shops. And a lot of the clients that I get, like, one of the main things they say is, I really don't sell at pop-up shops, and I don't get a lot of clients, and it's the fault of like the promoter or whatever. And the first thing I tell them is, your next client is the business owner next to you, because they get the journey. They stayed up all night. They packed the bag like you. They at the table, can't leave their product, gotta go to the bathroom. They get the full investment that it took to show up today, hope you sell something, even though you've already invested in your products and everything on your table. They know what it takes. So focus on them being your next client. Focus on just telling as many people as possible about your business, not just who's going to buy today, but who's going to buy 6 months from now.
That's big.
It's powerful.
That is powerful. And when I do pop-up shops, I love to go around and collect cards from everybody. Again, that's that bartering. I love to collect cards, and then I promote.
Yes, promote them. Who did I meet? Look who I met today. That's the one thing in business. It is bigger than the sales. I constantly tell y'all, Dominion Virginia Power doesn't care about your dreams. Okay, you got to pay that bill. But it is bigger than the sales. It's really about who you're meeting in the room and how networking plays a part. You got to meet some new people. What's the most uncommon thing that has happened to you in business that you didn't expect that ended up being a huge blessing? Is there anything you want to share?
The space.
Shout out to the space. You didn't see yourself evolving into a space?
No.
I love that for
Not
you.
at all. Evolving into wellness, especially having a wellness space, because I did photography for about a little bit over 10 years. And so I've had 3 photography studios of my own. And so I knew about having a space of my own, but I never knew that I would have a space where women can come and gather and feel good in a space.
And you can still take pictures if you want.
And you can still take, listen,
you can still get the visual if you
want. My camera.
And I think that's so important to hear, because just because you choose to pivot in life and transition, that doesn't mean that your talent in that other area has to stop.
Right.
I think a lot of people feel like, well, I'm choosing this, or I made the announcement on Facebook and my social media, so now I have to stick to only that. And that's not the case.
And I had to learn that too. I did, because I made that transition. I put the announcement out there. I'm done with photography. I retired from photography. And, I realized that I still have that skill.
Right.
And I can still offer that. I don't have to focus 100% on it like I was. But I still have the skill.
Yeah, and you can still enjoy it.
And I love it.
I
still love going out with my camera. I do street photography. I go up and down Broad Street.
I love that. That's a part of wellness too, though, isn't it? For even yourself, let me do what I enjoy. And if you've been following me long enough, then I say all the time, create the life you want. That's why we're actually in alignment, because we're on that same vibe. But creating the life you want is bigger than just a small, reaching the pedestal of things. It's really as small as doing something you enjoy, putting on a fragrance that you like, lighting an incense that makes your house smell like the home you want to come home to. It's literally bigger than the financial moments and the big blessings that everyone sees It's the smaller moments just for you. Yeah, I think that's super important. Listen, that is almost all of our time, but we're going to take the last 30 seconds to let Ivory tell you how you can reach out to her and how you can stay connected and get this book, because y'all need that. Tell us how to reach you.
So you can reach me at ivoryakeisha.com. I spelled it earlier for you.
Like the soap or the color. You already know. Right?
Ivoryakeisha.com. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I do have a TikTok. Ivory Akeisha. I'm actually Ivory Akeisha on everything.
Okay, well, that's
I'm the only Ivory Akeisha in the world, I think. So.
I thought I was only Cara Pressley, but there's another one in California.
Okay. But she's not.
She ain't me.
She ain't but yeah.
Thank you, Ivory, for joining me today. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Cara Pressley, the official, America's favorite career cheerleader. Listen, you've got to go ahead and listen to me. Follow me on Instagram, The Career Cheerleader. Subscribe to my YouTube. And of course, continue to listen to me right here in the mornings with Mike King on the radio, 106.1, 5 a.m. on Thursdays. Wake up with me. 48 Hour Friday is here. Okay, I love y'all to life. Stay successful, and I'll talk to you soon.